Welcome back to the WCS America Premier League. We're in the round of 32, Group C, in a match between Revival and Goswser. And Goswser just took game number 1 in a really interesting fashion.
Yeah, and the cool thing is as well, it didn't really even he didn't even show or reveal his late game style, how he wants to play, because in general Goswser likes to play different. We can talk a little bit more about it as soon as the game really starts. So I really think that's a good scenario for Goswser as well, because if this goes into a standard game where, let's say, both players make a couple of speed links, couple of bane links, trade some blows early on, but then they go up to 3 bases, then Goswser might once more be able to surprise Revival by being extremely aggressive with that link bane style that he likes to do of 3 bases, while the other player is like, hey, this is a Muda phase in the game, we're supposed to make Muda lists. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, we all make Muda lists. So
no fair, no fair. You're not supposed to keep making these units. And yeah, that's interesting, because the strength of Mutas, if you talk to any Zerg player, it's always in the map control.
Yep.
And so if you can find a way to keep them on a defensive, they no longer have that power.
Yeah, the cool thing is when Goswser was explaining that strategy to Mr. Bitter, they made a really cool show about it, like 90 minutes or 2 hours. The cool thing is he was playing against Greetorb, and for the people who don't know, Greetorb is really good these days. Like, he's like top 50, top 60 GM.
He actually made it pretty far in our, I think it was a Premier League qualifier.
Yeah, played against Zenio as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. But it was so funny to see Goswser just kind of chill there. He had the microphone, he was just talking. He was literally talking all the time. He's like, yeah, this is going pretty well, I'm killing some more stuff. You see, this is the power of my strat. And I'm just like, wow, shouldn't you be focusing? That he was just... It was really impressive how Goswser was playing. He was just explaining all his thoughts. It was very fun to see, and I was really impressed by his ability to read the game. Like, he was basically, everything he was saying was correct, but we were able to see both sides, and he was only to see his own. But everything he said was spot on. So he has a really good grasp on the matchup, and if he plays that style, it would be very fun to see.
A very, very smart player, of course. He's going to have to win one more game to advance to the winner's match, and it's going to be against his opponent in the bottom right corner of the map, EG's Revival.
Boom. Sorry, man, have to do it.
The man who we just said knows everything about what's going on in the game, a very intelligent player with a lot of creative builds as well. In the top left hand of Belshire Vestige, we have Goswser.
I feel like I'm part of Goswser right now. That's how much
in the zone.
In the zone.
In his zone right there. So he's going with the same opening before, you know, the safer 15 pool opening, and Revival's saying, okay, we're gonna go hatch first. 10 pool didn't quite work out for me that last time.
No. Of course, Belshire Vestige plays out completely different than a map as Whirlwind as well. It's a 2-player map. It's a lot smaller in some way, despite it still being quite a bit of travel distance between both bases. It's closer than Whirlwind. You could say that this opening slightly favors Revival. Of course, Hatch first is a little bit more economic than a 15-pool opening, but it's definitely not the end of the world, and one baneling detonation can change everything.
It definitely can. It's going to be a very even game until one player outplays the other one in a certain fashion. Of course, Goswser will have his first inject out a little bit faster, but the faster hatchery gives you a few more larvae there as well, and also the fact that you're building slightly later with the hatchery first build means those drones are mining a little bit more minerals before they're being morphed into those buildings. One thing I always like to take note is different players do different things with their initial overlords. We can see Goswser keeps his first one right in front of the natural of Revival, whereas Revival's has his a little bit more spread out. He's kind of keeping an eye on the area kind of outside the main a little bit.
Yeah, he just wants to see the ramp, I guess, because above all, he knows there's going to be more larvae in the main than in the natural. So if he's going to have to worry about quite a few links, he's going to spot it immediately. It seems like right now he even wants to poke in a little bit because he saw that queen leave, so I guess he knows right now that there is no queen in the main base. Might be able to see the left extractor, but I'd be surprised if he goes all the way to see the right one. No, he actually doesn't see either. He knows the queen will spawn real soon. Good game sense there by Revival as well.
Very good game sense. He also, if you poke in like that and you leave at the right time, it's a low-risk move, and potentially you could see your opponent pooling Zerglings in a location, because some people will do things like that even early on in the game. So it's a nice little move to notice that. Of course, you might not always find the Zerglings, but there's some small chance that you'll see something. There's no reason not to do a move like that.
Completely agree. Baneling is going down on identical moments. This has been an absolute mirror so far. Neither player has made a single set of Zerglings. Everything has been the same, but Goswser right now starts producing his first links, but the Revival, of course, doing the same thing as well, because, hey, eventually you're going to have to need some, gonna have to build some units. Both players on 27 drones, so we can see that despite the opening from Revival being a little bit more economic, everything evens out, but he does have more larvae, as you mentioned out, and that's actually going to kick in right now, as he's producing 18 links, while Goswser so far is still building drones, so he's going to need some sort of static defense, man.
Revival going to put on a ton of pressure here. He's building a spine car as well, so he's safe from counterattacks. This is a lot of Zerglings crossing the map. Goswser, he sees him. He's morphing one Baneling. I think he might want a few more than there he goes.
I mean, might be a very ambitious Baneling, but I don't know, man. Against 18 links and someone like Revival, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Oh my god, imagine if he would have blown everything up. Now that would have been something.
It did force Revival back, and even just buying those 3 seconds gave him time to morph 3 more Banelings and make some speedings of his own. But now Revival here, he has a faster lair tech. He's kind of, I think he was kind of tricking Goswser into over-defending.
For a second, I really thought that Goswser was going up to layer as well. Did I imagine that? Or I could swear I saw that on the production tab. But as you said, perhaps it was just one big fake so far from Revival, just getting a lot of speedlings out early on, forcing a reaction out of your opponent, forcing him to make Banelings, and also forcing him to make Zerglings. And I could really, well, I must be crazy, but I really thought that Goswser for a second was going up to layer as well.
Maybe he canceled it or something, and to get all the gas to morph a lot more Banelings. It could have been. Now he's just restarting that lair, and of course, that lair has been spotted by Revival's speeding. Revival, seeing how late Goswser's lair tech is, what he's going to do is he's building a lot of spine cars. He's assuming that Goswser is going to do like a mass speeding baiting all-in, and it's kind of switched around. First Goswser over-defended, and now Revival could potentially be over-defending because Goswser is just making a whole ton of drones.
Yeah, Revival making so many Banelings, and of course that's also going to slow down his eventual Muda production if he still wants to do that. A couple of links trying to connect with that one Baneling, but nice micro here by our Korean Zerg. More Banelings wiggling in either side, but Goswser should know there's absolutely nothing that he's going to do over here.
Not versus that many spines. You know, it's interesting because Revival did have that faster lair tech, but the Spire is not going to be much faster at all if Goswser decides to go for that Spire route.
But that's like the big question right now. Is he really, or is he going to stick to that style that we spoke about quite a bit before, just making a crazy amount of links and Banelings and just try to deny the third base over and over and over again from Revival? I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, sure, they're going to be Mutalisk on the map for Revival, but we will see.
There's nothing but speedings in production. There goes the Spire from Goswser. He does have a good amount of gas banked up, but he is going to be looking tonight at third base. He does have more speedings than his opponent. I feel like this is looking actually very good for Goswser.
Yeah, but he is down 10 drones, and of course, as you pointed out, that Spire, as he's actually right now, he is going for a Spire on his own. Oh my god, he has to be so careful right there. He does need to force a cancel on this base, in my opinion. Yes, his third base was a little bit quicker, but still he needs to do something. Otherwise, eventually, Revival is just going to have more Mutalisk than Goswser. And then it's going to be really hard to make something happen. Oh my god, massive run by right now into the main base. Not a single Baneling there, and he's going to morph a couple of Banelings on his own. He's going to try to hold the ramp. Sick move over here by Goswser. I'm so eager to see how it plays out.
Oh! Goswser backs away just in time. How much damage can he do before the Banelings of Revival force him away? He's going to kill several drones here. But so far...
if he avoids those Banelings... Oh, there's one Baneling actually. Nice micro by Goswser. He still has more links right now. If he avoided those Banelings, he might be able to do some more economic damage.
Oh, he's hiding 2 Banelings in the top right corner of Revival's base, but Revival not going to be fooled. He's going to find those and pick them off. And 10 Mutas being built by Revival, but Goswser, he could build 13.
Wow. So actually, eventually it all kind of worked out. He's still down 5 drones, so eventually he's going to have to find the larva that he wants to spend that and catch up in the working count. Because 5 drones, if both players just make continuously mutas from this point on, eventually those 5 drones will make the difference and will give Revival a lead later on.
Oh, Revival going for attack and Goswser's third. A big Bane explosion though.
Sloppy there by Revival. Losing a lot of speed links. First Mutalisk are heading over to the natural / main base right now, but as you pointed out, for now, Goswser actually has a Mutalisk lead.
He does, and he has more gas in the bank too. It's his kind of, he had the third a little bit faster, and that kind of gave him that advantage there. As far as a slightly higher muta count. Of course, neither player really has enough mutas to cross the map and kill their opponent because, you know, Queens and the closer rally point will sway in the defender's favor.
Yeah, so you could say from this point on, it's just going to be, let's see who misses an inject and builds more Mutalisk. Goswser did make a couple of additional drones, but he's still down 7 drones, and that's still something you really have to worry about in the CVZ. Because eventually that is going to make the difference. Right now he's still ahead with 2 to 3 Mutalisk. Upgrade-wise, it's slight advantage for Revival as well, but it would be very hard to find a window somehow where your upgrade is ready and your opponent is not.
Goswser would most likely retreat until he equalizes upgrades. The interesting thing here is both players have a pretty decent drone count, enough to the point that they have extra minerals to spend, and that's going to be spent on speeding to harass their opponent. We can see now Goswser trying to get some damage done at the third.
Yep, there are a couple of spine crawlers. There is a queen. Even picking up the queen right now would be nice, even though the inject just did spawn. But hey, it is something. It's a nice little pick-off. I could eventually make it easier for Mutalisk to harass, but you have to be careful with that.
You definitely do.
Wow, ambitious revive over here, already dropping that 4th base.
So this is how he's going to use that Chiron advantage. He's going to turn the extra minerals he's mining into a 4th base, and if he can hold that, that could eventually turn into a gas advantage, which then can lead to basically a higher mute count and a 1 game. But he's a long way
the upgrade
off.
is not ready yet for Goswser. He really doesn't want to fight this, I think. It's an even amount of mutas, but there were way more Zerglings on the map. Well, actually he did make a couple of links, but still 6, 7, 8 links more for a revival, which of course can absorb some damage from these Mutalisk. And as silly as it sounds, Zerglings can make the difference in a Mutalisk fight.
If it's very close, every little bit counts. Every single upgrade, every additional Mutalisk, even how you enter the battle if all your Mutalisks are attacking from the start.
Goswser kind of lost track on the army of Revival. Revival's gonna run into the natural right now. He's gonna kill the queen. He's gonna kill perhaps the spine crawler. Are we gonna see a full-on base trade right now?
It looks like a Goswser knowing it would be too late to retreat without taking significant damage. He's going straight for Revival Spire here. The Spire goes down, canceling the upgrade. That's actually a very important move for Goswser.
Revival is like, hey, that's a pretty good idea, man. Let me do the same thing. So he picks up the Spire from Goswser. There's this madness all over the map right now. Both players just trying to muster out as many additional units as they can. Goswser has a minor Mutalisk advantage. But there's so many speed links on the map for Revival. 50 links against 1.
You know, this could come down to just a 1 giant muta battle. Unless it's a building elimination, it could easily come down to that. And like you said, if Goswser has the additional Mutalisk, it might matter. But he has to make sure not to lose any Mutalisk here as he tries to take out the many. There's 2 Spore Crawlers and a Queen. I
have a hard time seeing Goswser turn this around. Army supply shows us it's 99 against 27. Of course, you could say Mutalisk count is all that matters, 32 against 31. But there are still so many drones. Every mineral, you could say, matters as well. Hey, and eventually Goswser is going to have to build some buildings, man. Because I don't know, I doubt he has any drones on the map.
Oh, if he loses every one of his buildings, it won't matter about the muta count like you mentioned. Oh, he's being revealed.
Okay, then this is it.
Goswser, does he have any drones? He doesn't have a single drone on the map. These are his last buildings.
Yeah.
That was
a little anticlimactic, but very well played by Revival. Goswser just losing sight of that army for a split second. Finally decided like, hey, my upgrade should be even right now. Let me move down towards the right side, see what I can find. And then right on that moment, Revival went for the attack and was just very well played by Revival. He had way more links. He was way able to eliminate all the buildings way quicker than his opponent. And it's kind of cute, man. Like, Goswser took a Spire. Revival was like, it's pretty smart.
And that actually played a big difference. I mean, if you go for other buildings first, and they get like 3 or 4 more Mutalisks out, that could totally change the game. Right?
Yeah, then Goswser might be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna return after I killed your own Spire. If I'm able to force a muta fight and I kill it and I win with 10, 15 mutas remaining, I might be able to still go back to your base later on.
Yeah, just leave a couple mutas to defend the last buildings.
Yeah, exactly.
So
but wasn't enough.
Nope. Revival's going to tie it up 1-1 with some great muta speeding play in that ZVZ. Who will win game number 3, advance to the winner's match to take on Pole? We'll find out after a short commercial break.